I'm gonna show you how to go from this to this. Make sure your skin is cleansed, and we are going to prime the face with this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I believe that's what it is. Yes, it's like $6. I get it on Amazon, and it's just got the best grip ever. What I'm gonna do is just cover up any blemishes, any discoloration spots, any redness. So while I let that concealer sit on those spots and dry, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I know, you guys, this routine is so weird. It's so different, but it's so good. Now I'm gonna go in with the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. That is a tongue twister. It's like the fat angled one. I love it because it just works so quickly. And this is in the shade 2.75, which is like a warmer auburn shade to match my hair. I've thought about dyeing my eyebrows like a slight auburn shade. I just haven't done it, but I think I'm going to because it just looks so much better. So all I'm doing right now is literally just like sloppily filling in my brows with this pencil. I've never gotten this many compliments on my eyebrows in my entire life, which is amazing because this is the easiest eyebrow routine I've ever had. Look at the difference between those two brows. Okay, so now that I have them filled in, I'm just going to brush them up with that spoolie. Then I'm gonna grab my Rare Beauty brow gel. I'm gonna set them into place. So I brush the front of them up, and then as I go out, I just kind of brush to the side at an angle and then downward. And then I personally give it like a little press because I want those brow hairs to stay into place. I have really fine hair and my eyebrows will just go like me if I don't press them into place. And then I'm gonna take that and I'm going to slightly run it over like this to shape my eyebrows and put them into place. Then I grab a Q-tip and I run that Q-tip along the top and make sure that we don't have any of that excess brow product hanging out up there because it will end up getting in the way. I'm gonna grab the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I'm going to grab it on a little precision brush, but I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna just make a line and carve that brow out. And at this point, you can decide what brow shape you want. If you want to give yourself more of an arch or more of a straight brow, you make that decision while you're carving it out with concealer. Oh my gosh, I love doing makeup. And then I just grab a buffer brush and buff that concealer into the eyelid so that we don't have any harsh lines. Look at the difference in my brows right now. Like, are you joking? As you can see, it's literally so easy. I fill in my brows, I glue them down, I carve them out, and that's it. It's the easiest brow routine I've ever had. Complexion time. I'm gonna go in with the Haus Labs foundation. It's so difficult to actually shade match everyone's unique individual skin tone properly. Let me just make sure that this is the shade I want. Yes, it sure as is. Okay, so since we've spot concealed, I'm actually gonna use less than I typically would. Less than I typically did in the past, okay? I am gonna give the skin coverage, but I am not going to go overboard because I still have to do concealer and powder. So I'm going to use this almost as a tinted moisturizer and call it a day, like right there. That's all I'm gonna do, okay? Because I've realized that if you really want your skin to look absolutely gorgeous in the end, you have to do like medium coverage on everything. Full coverage. It can kind of age you actually at times, and it can just make the skin look a little crepey. So we're gonna do more of like a medium coverage all over the face. Girl, my jawline is back. What the f? It like came out of nowhere. I woke up one morning and I was like, oh, my jawline is back. You guys, I did not have a jawline there for a minute. May I remind you? The jawline disappeared for a minute. Also, the sponge that I am using is not a beauty blender. It's a Paw. You get a pack of them on Amazon. I think you get like 10 of them for $10 and they are amazing. Like the best beauty sponges ever. And then you don't have to be sad about replacing them. I replace mine for sanitary reasons like every 2 or 3 weeks because it's just so inexpensive. Something that I've learned about myself recently is that I actually enjoy doing makeup more than I like wearing makeup. Like I actually look really forward to washing my face. I feel like I'm more productive when I have no makeup on, as odd as that sounds. I feel like I'm more confident with makeup on. I want to have on a full face of makeup because I genuinely feel just like it brings me into my power. I love wearing makeup for certain reasons, but there is something about applying it that is so therapeutic. Like such therapy, I swear. Okay, so we did the brows, so make sure you switch over to that pointed side of your beauty sponge and get semi-close to those brows so that it all looks blended together and we don't have any harsh lines. I swear, one day I'm still gonna write a book. It's still gonna be called No Harsh Lines. My favorite part, I'm going with concealer. I'm using the Hourglass Vanish Concealer in the shade Drift. I believe this is one of their newer shades. And I'm going to put a little bit there, a little bit there, and then I'm going to let it set for honestly like 3 or 4 minutes because it's just gonna make it so much more full coverage and make it set beautifully. I always put a little bit on my chin and a little line on my nose too because I like extra coverage on my nose. Again, we are just working in layers. So now that it's been a few minutes, taking the same sponge, of course, and then just blending that out as normal. Letting it sit is going to make such a big difference. You have no clue. Once you let your concealer sit, specifically the Hourglass one, you'll never ever want to go back to just applying it and blending it out immediately ever again. It sets like right now, it's like such full coverage and it's so much more matte. It doesn't crease into your fine lines. It doesn't move. It just gives your concealer so much longevity. Like, I don't know if the camera is genuinely picking up just how amazing that blended out. Okay, so now you can see I am full coverage. I did layers to achieve full coverage, but still I can actually see my next step. I'm going to bronze. I'm gonna go in with the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. This is what I suggest. Put a stripe on your face, something like that. You know, nothing less, nothing more, and blend that out. Also pick some of it up on your brush. It's going to blend out so much better. As you can see, I put that stripe higher on my cheekbone, okay? We're not putting a stripe down here. I know that you want the color to primarily be down in this area, but that's not where you originally placed it because we have to blend it out. So as you're blending it out, that color is going to come down like an entire inch on your face. That's why I put it up higher to begin with, because girls, honestly, your cream bronzer can make or break your face, and I feel like that's why it's kind of like an intimidating step, but it's really as simple as placing that initial higher up on the cheekbone. You do not want that color to come down in this area. It's going to widen the face and it's gonna end up looking blotchy. I put that all the way up to underneath of my eye area, slightly, not initially, but as I'm blending out because it's just gonna help everything come together in the end. Okay, now for the forehead, I'm gonna do one line across the entire thing, same thing, pick it up with the brush and blend it out. I really, really need to shave my forehead and I forgot. So it might be a little blotchy today. It's so random, but it's just like a little beauty tip that I personally use, but I've never talked about. My forehead has little tiny peach fuzzes all over it. And if I do not shave my forehead with a little razor, the blend and the bronzer does not look as good. So I try to shave my forehead like twice a month just for my makeup to look better. And I have new growth up in here, and I feel like it might be the new shampoo that I'm using. Now it's time for blush. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. These are her new stick blushes. This is the Unreal Blush Healthy Glow Stick right here. I'm using the shade Rosy Glow. I love this formula. And this shade is so pretty. So I'm gonna just put this right there around the eye area, taking the exact same brush that I've been using for my bronzer, and then I'm gonna blend that out. So as you can see, this blush placement is very specific. It's one of the things that makes this makeup look that I've been wearing for the last couple of weeks so different. Everyone is like, oh my God, your cheeks, your blush. And I swear it's because I'm not wearing blush in here anymore. Like I am totally neglecting the apples of my cheeks and I'm keeping the blush wrapped around my eye and my eyebrow. I'm gonna grab my beauty sponge and I'm gonna go over this inner area right here just to make sure that we don't have any creasing before I set with powder, and also kind of diffuse that cream blush because I don't want this area to be super blushy. Okay, now it's time to set. Whatever product I'm using, I pick it up like this and then I pat it in my hand so that it looks a little bit more like that on the sponge. Then just go ahead and tap it in all along the entire cheek, entire under eye, all the way up to the nose. There's no place that you have to be afraid of putting this powder. It can go anywhere. So just pat that all over the place. Yes, girl. God, I love getting mattified. It's so funny because I make myself super, super dewy like I am right now, and then I mattify the shit out of myself, and then I go back in with my setting routine and my highlights, and then I glow myself back up. It's a process, but the end result is very pretty. I'm going to set my eyes. I use my beauty sponge just to make sure that there's no creasing, which is just inevitable because I had concealer on my eyelids. And then I take the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. I'm using the shade 1. And then I'm just going to pat this all over my lids. You guys know that this is how I have prepped my eyelids for makeup my entire life, concealer and powder. I think it's the best primer ever. Isn't that crazy? I never once gave in to like the Urban Decay primer potion. I've always just used concealer and powder. Okay, next, my bronzer routine. I take the Haus Labs. This is the reformulated bronzer. This is in the shade Soleil Sand Fair. I'm gonna pick that up on a BK Beauty brush. This is one of my fave brushes. This is the 111. And then I'm going to just take that light shade, put that up in this area. This is just going to set everything even more, give a little bit more dimension to the face. I personally don't want to just do creams and powder and then move on. Like, I like to set everything with a little bit more dimension. It's not much, but it makes a difference. This is the Radiant Bronze Light right here. I take this and I put it on the high points down towards the nose, okay? Then I take it, no rhyme or reason. Like, we are literally just putting this kind of everywhere, and there's something about it that's just so summery. And I take Hoola bronzer just because it's such a matte neutral shade, but any matte neutral shade would work. And I dip it into that, and then I make a line on the right and on the left, following up the bronzer on the tip of my nose. And then I kind of take that line inward. I'm like covering up the tip of my nose almost. So I want it to be like a brown ball with two lines that go up. And then we just blend that out. And this is a brush that I made with Morphe back in the day, specifically for nose contour. I'm taking the Huda Beauty Glowish powder. It reminds me of my Jaclyn Cosmetics loose powder that was the Mood Light, and it just has like such a glow in it. And so I make a little line down my nose with that powder. And then I also put a little dot on the tip like that, just to emphasize the nose contour. Yes, honey. Oh, this face is gonna be beat. I live. Okay, so now for blush, I'm actually gonna mix a pink and a coral. They're both by Haus Labs. This is Hibiscus Haze, and this is Pomelo Peach. And I'm literally gonna go like this, and like this, and like this. And that's it, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm going to touch it literally only on this outer area, actually onto the eyelid. And right here, your hand is naturally gonna wanna go, don't. This is a concentrated blush look right here, wrapped around. Y'all have been going crazy over my blush recently, and this is exactly how I'm doing it. For the moment, I'm gonna move on to my eyes. The eyes are gonna be so insanely simple, like it's a little ridiculous how simple they are. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 matte eyeshadow palette right here. I'm gonna go in with these two shades on a fluffy brush. I'm putting that just in the outer corner of the eye, blending it inward, blending it up towards the brow, just kind of everywhere. We're just using this shade to contour the eyelid and blend it in with our blush. We do not want a lot of this, otherwise it's gonna take away from the look. So now that I have that there, I'm also going to grab a little bit of that blush that we used on our cheeks and go right over top of it and blend it in. Up to the brow, down onto the cheek. Like that, just a tiny bit so that that area comes together. Can you see the difference between this eye and the way I took that color up and this eye and the way I didn't? There's like such a clear separation here. And this one, it all comes together. They got married. Okay, grabbing a flat eyeshadow brush. Okay, I'm going to go in with the shades Little Lady and Faint. Basically just like a combination of a rose gold and kind of like a pale vanilla is what I'm looking for. I actually bring that shadow way past the crease of my eye. So what I mean by that is like, typically I would just bring it right here, but instead I bring it all the way up here, because when I move and I turn, I want you to see that shimmer up in this area. One thing about me, and you guys know this by now, I'm never gonna not highlight my brow bone. It's just criminal. I'm gonna take that Huda Beauty powder that I used before on my nose, and I'm going to put this directly underneath of the brow bone for just like a little minimal highlight. Okay, grabbing the Patrick Ta palette again, I'm gonna take this super deep burgundy shade and also a little bit of this brown. Whoa, mix them together on a little precision brush. And then I'm gonna just press that into my lash line. This isn't even for eyeliner. This is literally just to give dimension to this look, because the bottom of our lashes are gonna be so blank. So I just wanna give this like a little bit of interesting something to kind of smoke that out. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes, throw on some mascara and a false lash. By the way, this Tweezerman lash curler I got on Amazon. Best lash curler I've ever used in my entire life, I think. Like, it's actually insane how well this curls and how well it holds a curl. Please just look at the difference that a lash makes. Like, are you joking? Okay, I am going in with 34th Street by Lily Lashes. This is one of my favorite lashes. It stands the test of time. I think it is so beautiful on so many different eye shapes. It complements so many different looks. If I could go back in time, I would wear this lash on my wedding day. Look down into your mirror. It makes it so much easier. Pop it on. If you have long nails like me, grab a little tweezer. Be so careful, you guys. You're by your eyes. Life would suck without your eyesight. And take a black eyeliner. I like the Rare Beauty black liner. I believe this is waterproof, which is why it works so well for this. Put this on your waterline up on top. I know it's a weird feeling. You'll get used to it, but the difference that it makes in person for how your lashes look is tremendous. For the lower lash line, this is so weird for me, and I know for my girls who've been watching me do makeup for years and years, you know I always do a lower lash line. Mascara minimum, but not with this look. So instead, we're gonna go back with that Pomelo Peach blush. That's what this is called, right? Yeah, Pomelo Peach, and a fluffy brush. And what we're gonna do is put that on the outer corner of the lash, wrap it up, only outer corner, down into the blush. That's all we're doing. This is just going to marry everything together and look so summery and fresh. Let that blush dance on your cheeks. MAC really did the big one when they deleted Studio Fix powder. I don't know how to live without this powder because I eliminated my under eye setting powders from Jaclyn Cosmetics and I switched over to Studio Fix because I love the formula so much, and then they changed the formula and I'm like, listen, if you brands don't get it together, I don't care about the talc. I want the talc. I need the talc. This is what makes it special. It's amazing. I always take this product. This is like a lighter shade than my skin, clearly, on the fluffy brush, and to finish off my face, I always take this and I set it right here like that. And then I blend that out. And it just gives the most perfect under eye angelic look. Now, if you're going to an event or if this is your wedding day, I would take some sort of powder, okay? This is the Studio Fix again, which they did reformulate it. You could use the reformulated one. Something like Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, but who wants something with even maybe a little bit more pigment than this. But what you would do is you would just set like key areas of your face, like smile lines, so that nothing sets throughout your special day. I'm gonna grab the One Size lip liner in shade Out of Line. No, actually I'm gonna go in with Mario lip liner in the shade Lauren. I'm gonna use the Anastasia Lip Velvets in the shade Pink Sand. Oh my God, no, that is not, no, abort. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill in my lips entirely with the lip liner. Then I'm gonna grab the shade Myth by MAC. I'm gonna put that all over the center. Then I'm gonna grab Batty B Gloss in the shade Bombshell, and I'm going to gloss her up. Period. There is our lip combo. Finishing touches, I'm gonna go in with the Kosas blush in the shade Adrenaline. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to take that and put it right there because I want a little glow. This is not necessary, you guys, but I am choosing to do so. Just all up in there. Can you see the glow that she is giving? This is so not necessary, but this is a step that I will do sometimes. I will literally just grab a dark brown eyeshadow, and then I will take that eyeshadow and create, making sure you can see me, create the tiniest little wing. It is a small thing, but it does give effect. Setting your makeup is so crucial and so key to how it's gonna look through the rest of the day. First things first, I'm gonna go in with my iconic London setting spray. This has a little bit of shimmer in it, but not much. You can see I have like a little water droplet right there on my cheek. So I'll take my sponge and blend that out because I don't want that to set funky, okay? And I just like, in general, after doing my setting spray, kind of going over the most powdered areas and just kind of pressing that in with a beauty sponge. It's just gonna make the skin look like skin again. Let me obsess close up. Oh bitch, the skin is skinning. I feel like there's a little bit too much distinction with my blush, so I'm going to take a powder and kind of powder over this area to blend that all together because I don't want it to be like a harsh line of sherbet on my skin. I'm gonna go in with the One Size On Till Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray. A white eyeshadow from the Patrick Ta palette on the inner corner of the eye. I took my hair down and I realized I didn't put on highlighter. I'm gonna grab the Rare Beauty highlighter in Mesmerize right here, like specifically, okay? You can't tell me that that does not make you feel some type of way right there. Bitch! Do you see what a tiny amount that is? Like, we're not going ham, okay? That nose highlight, I want you to get in on this face. I'm gonna pull you in. I want you to see this complexion up close and personal for what it really is.